What's going on, everybody? I'm Patrick from POWLAX, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing Warrior's brand new ISO mesh. So first I'd like to give my initial thoughts. Initially, when they came out with the Warp, I was actually very surprised. I had no idea they were working on the Warp project, and then the first couple they came out with, the Evo mid-high and Evo mid-low with the 1s and the 3s, weren't very good at all, and it kind of threw me on the whole idea. But so then after they started incorporating new patterns, the best Warp there is the Warp for kids. My son has 2 of them. They're excellent. They're the best stick you can give a kid who is under 6 to play with. Now, the big thing about the Warp project as they were advertising it was they always advertised it with specific players in mind. So like Rob Pennell's Warp was designed for him. Zach Courier's Warp was designed for him. And so as they would show them playing with them, of course they're going to like them because they were designed for them. Now, that's why I bought and have been using this ISO mesh stick, is because I was able to string it up perfectly for me. And I'm very surprised at how much I actually like it. So I've actually restrung this one 4 times. And so if you've seen the 2021 8 best lacrosse Christmas gifts video, I mentioned that you're going to string it a lot more like regular mesh than you think. And I definitely stand by that. So for me, I really like having a low pocket. And so I strung the top holes as high as I possibly could. Literally the last set of diamonds are where I put the top string. And so initially what I thought would happen was that the mesh was not going to expand a bunch. And so I literally strung it hole for hole on this Evo 4. Now, once I did that, it broke in considerably in the first few days. Now, I really liked the feel at first. It put my pocket like right at the mid section, but as it broke in, then I started getting it hitting the top, and I had to redo the sidewalls and start pulling the sidewalls down a lot further to give, a nice channel. Now, so the idea that these bigger holes are what is going to give you a pocket isn't necessarily true. It's going to help, but when you actually look at the structure of them, they are just stand-ins for other holes that would have been there. Now, there may be a little bit extra room in them, so they may contribute a little bit, but it's not something where you're just going to throw it in and they're going to have the right type of pocket in those holes. You do have to string the sidewalls correctly in order to get the type of channel that you want. Now, the one interesting idea that we have here is that we can actually pull and put the bigger diamonds up or down in order to re-emphasize a specific part of the pocket. Now, as I mentioned before, I strung this 4 times. The first time I strung it, I literally strung hole for hole. Then I pulled a few of the top diamonds down, and I skipped a bunch of holes. And then I actually had to do that again as it broke in. Now, I don't break my sticks in. I have a pocket pounder thing that's actually a bucket of cement with a PVC in it, and it works really well, but I'm not going to sit there and break it in for 5 minutes. I basically take 45 seconds to a minute, and I just push it in all over the place. Now, it definitely did expand a lot when I did that, but really throwing on the bounce back is what helped it a ton. But so what I've found, and what I think is very interesting about the ISO mesh, is that it does string just like a traditional pocket, and then these holes are just going to re-emphasize the pocket that you like. Now, the really cool thing about having a low pocket, which I was traditionally an attackman, so I made this as low as possible, is that it definitely gives you more hold in the top of your pocket if you string it correctly, where the beginnings of your channel are the top of these holes. Now, I don't know if it's going to do the same thing if you shift those up and string it the exact same way. I'm pretty sure that it would, but overall, that's an excellent thing for anyone who likes low pockets, because one of the big challenges is making sure it has a quick release, but then also having hold. And this thing has a ton of hold. So I'm definitely very pleasantly surprised. I think that I think the evolution of it is going to just continue to grow. But the biggest thing I'll say is that you have to know it's going to break in a ton. So from top to bottom, I strung 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 diamonds. And hold on one second, I'm going to give you one of my other sticks. Now, this is a mid pocket, kind of more of like a box pocket. But so this one he used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and a half of the 17.5 millimeter diamond. I want to say this was like Hero 2 mesh or something of that nature. This stick is a stick that Khalid Al-Shami strung for me. He's probably one of my favorite stringers. I want to say his Instagram is ShamWow Strings. Al-Shami equals ShamWow. But so this is definitely my favorite stick to play with. It's one of those sticks that when you shoot or you pass, it just goes exactly where I want it. But so the size of the diamonds are different, but the structure of the pocket I felt was very similar, at least to what I used to do. So one of the ways that I used to string a bunch of sticks is it would be an interlock down, like skip, skip, skip. And then I would, once I hit the part where I wanted my channel to be, I would lock it and then double up, skip, skip. And that's basically the same thing I did with this one, except I didn't have to skip because the holes are smaller. But so overall, for good stringers who know kind of how to shape their pocket, I think that they're really going to like iso mesh. The key, once again, is just make sure that you break it in as much as possible so that you're not going to have a stick that has to be redone 3 or 4 times. And then the last thing I'll mention is that I did put in shooters today. First, I just put in this nylon, and the nylon was great. It was basically kind of clicking a little bit, and I wanted a little bit more of a smooth release. So then I put in these 2 really high shooters, and now this thing is just dialed. And so I really like the iso mesh. I think it's definitely a product that will grow on people if they give it a chance. I'm really, really interested to see how it's going to perform in the snow. It definitely seems like something that will soak in water and then potentially freeze. So we'll see how it does in the elements, but overall, I definitely like the product. I don't have any links or anything for you. This was just a video. I wanted to kind of clarify some of my statements that I made in the Best Gifts of 2021 video, which if you haven't seen, I will link it up here. And yeah, that's the basics of the video. Definitely let me know what you guys thought down in the comments section. Hit me up on Instagram, TikTok, all the above. Check out POWLAX.com and all the coaching content. Have a good one, and I'll see you guys in the next video.